welcome to another list video. With this one, I'm focusing on the best podcasts to listen to based on these three criteria. And those are content, judging by how much content they put out and how good it is in general. Audience engagement, how often they do listen to potential questions or dilemmas of their audience. Informative, how much useful information they put out that helps as many people it can. So let's get started. At number 4, it's above average FPL. They are a much more laid-back podcast compared to most podcasts hosted by the duo Baker and Adam, who are both Spurs fans. Rare to see them in this community. Their content consists of game week reaction, where they look back at what happened in the weekend games, and then team selection, which is basically a game week preview of the upcoming game week.
Really, considering it's been disastrous weekend in FPL, disastrous week for Tottenham, disastrous, for our Champions League hopes, disastrous result. And then as soon as they did, it was just like, they knew it. They knew they were going to get it. As soon as we started pushing it, and it was like, as soon as they won the corner, you were like, oh, God.
Because I was first last week, you can go first this week.
Oh, you're not in the top 1 million now. It's gone again.
No, it's gone.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So I could, in theory, do like a KDB to Salah as well on this, which would be even more interesting. And then I get a captaincy there as well. Obviously, Richard's dropped down, and then I choose either I play.
It starts out as Baker and Adam talking about how their weekend went, and then the talk about FBO picks up from there. They do talk about stats about each team and specific players, but they don't go highly in depth with it. They focus more on the general aspects of the teams and figures out how the teams and players are shaping up to be mentally. This podcast is great for people who are not looking at it at an in-depth analysis, instead just want to relax, listen to people talking about FPL without having to put too much thought into it. At number 3, it's the 2023 award-winning official FPL podcast. It's hosted by Charlie Summers, along with the regular pod partners Sam Bonfield and Julian Lawrence, with a different guest each week, which helps to keep it fresh and not repetitive. They provide 2 pods each week, which are the off the bench pod, where they bring in 2 guests to host the pod to give a review about the weekend's games, mostly from the FPL community. The other is the main one with the game week preview that's hosted by the regular members of the podcast.
I think. So you obviously have Salah, and it's always Darwin time if you want to also.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that, don't worry.
It's Darwin time for all of us now, isn't it? Which is really weird, your managerial style.
Very passionate, too passionate, but also talent, vision and planning, this is the kind of manager I am.
Look, I love the banter between Sam and Julian. Julian is an amazing comic relief. I also like the pacing. It's around 40 minutes and crams as much info as possible to round up all the incidents that happened during the week. The one thing I would criticize is that they need to put out the podcast on YouTube to make it more easily accessible to everyone. Otherwise, it's a great, quick, entertaining podcast to listen. At number 2, it's FBO Blackbox. Now this is a podcast for the hardcore FPL managers, hosted by As Phillips and Mark Sutters. They both go into deep analysis of all the team and players on how they are performing for the last 6 weeks and more, and looking ahead. Their content has evolved from over the years. It consists of Mark's game week review, where he sits and walks around someplace outside talking about the events of the weekend and gives thoughts on them. As says team selection, although he only does it when he is doing well, so don't expect him to regularly commit to this. The late tackle, where Mark is joined by Andy North from FF Scout to cover the late news that emerges on a Friday and answer people's questions. And the regular main podcast where all the stuff takes place. Also, lastly, the match of the day challenge, which is very rare to see, but it is insane.
Imagine Darwin Núñez with no offsides. He would be an absolute beast. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's the way I'm probably going to go. And also, it just feels a little bit different. Everybody seems to be.
Jim, I want to make sure the stats kind of paint that. I want to look at the fixtures. I want to be a bit more kind of methodical in some of those decision makings, because that's probably why most people
Torres
are
and
there.
Grealish in. Torres, another goal. Oh, fucking hell,
no.
he's got 2 goals and an assist.
Oh no.
Fucking hell. Wow. I keep swearing, I've got to stop swearing. We're going to have to make this not suitable for children.
Assist for Mahrez as well, for anyone that sold him.
I sold him as well, though, didn't I? Sold him as well, didn't I? So basically, if I'd done nothing so far, I would be about 20 points better off.
That's the game we want to talk about now. Son, very, very quiet. Again, as a Son owner, a bit disappointed with that. Only 0.17 XGI.
Overall, I would say it's more suited to people who have been playing FPL for years and takes it seriously. Maybe the casual could be off put by the long duration of the podcast, but you can't deny the quality and effort that's been put into this pod by collecting all the info and providing useful assessment of the teams and players for every game week to predict the correct outcomes. Try to find time out of your busy schedule to listen to it. At number 1, it's the FBO Wire. I would like to say it's a combination of both statistical analysis and the casual lightheartedness. It's hosted by Zofar and Laitlizer and joined by Pras since the recent FBO season. Their content mainly consists of the usual gaming preview pod with some extra videos during the international break and covering any international tournament fantasy game during the off season.
He's been busy for a tiring season, and almost at the end he's pretty much I wouldn't call it beach mode, but he's been up to some beachy activities. It's not looking good, bro. What else do you want us to say? It's not looking good. We're terrified.
Trying to get some sort of joy as a Chelsea fan. Like your guys' misery.
Bus captains for both Pras and I. Pras is Salah your bus captain as things stand?
Yeah. He'll be like 170% this week.
But let's just first dwell on the Premier League. A certain club in London, which was dubbed a mid-table club, has finished over a certain dynamic attacking football team from Manchester. What do you guys have to say about that?
Oh, good. Come on, Chelsea. What else?
Yeah, we've been bigging up Chelsea all season. What do you mean?
The good thing about this podcast is that they always look forward. So even if you have a bad game, you won't see them gloating about or showing off their good scores from the weekend. They may mention it a little bit, but not enough to make you feel even more in pain. The FPL Wire has a great blend of looking over stats and eye test, and with 3 different personalities, they each give out a different view of how they will play the game in an interesting way. Thanks for watching the video. This has been the 3rd installment of the trilogy of my list video about the content from FPL community. So hit the like and please subscribe to the channel, as it will truly mean a lot to me. See you soon.